Stop. One more. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to all of those tuning in via social media on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, to our guests in studio. We like to say welcome, 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 welcome. My name is Charlotte Green. I'm the national chairman for the Coalition of Independence. I'm also the candidate that's going to be representing the Carmichael constituency in the upcoming election. Ladies and gentlemen, for those viewers that are tuning in online, we are currently in South Central Andros, Mangrove Key. We're down here with the candidate, Mr. Carlton Clare, who is going to be representing the constituency of South Central Andros and Mangrove Key. But we are currently in the South. Yes, we are currently in the South. This week, these past couple days was very exciting. We came down and we were able to open up not one, but two headquarters.
Yeah.
And we are about to open up a third one. Unheard of. Unheard of. South Andros, you're lucky to have, you're like advancing so far ahead already. And Mr. Carlton Clare is one of our new candidates. And he's already advancing forward. So I just want to say that I am very proud of you and congratulations. We look forward to the opening of the third headquarters. I wish I could do that in Carmichael right now. But guess what? That's going to happen. That's going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to welcome you here because today we are going to ask some questions. You're also going to hear about some of the plans we have for Andros. You're going to be able to question not only Mr. Carlton Clare, the candidate, but also Mr. Lincoln Bean. In order for us to move forward as a nation, we have to be able to ask questions. We have to be able to have them answered. We want to know what are the policies that is going to be done by the Coalition of Independence that is going to govern our country successfully. Not rhetoric, not campaign slogan, but policies. And that's the most important thing right now. It's time that we move forward and have policy discussion on how we are going to advance our nation, and not only advance the nation, but how are we as Bahamian people going to benefit from the wealth of our country, and how we are going to form that wealth in order for us to benefit. So I don't want to get too deep into it, but I'm going to turn the mic over to Mr. Carlton Clare, the candidate for South Andros, South Central Andros, and Mangrove Key. Mr. Clare?
Mrs. Green, such a beautiful introduction. Thank you for all of the comments you made just a while ago. I'm so happy to see as many of you as here today. I'm very proud of my Andros Island. I'm very proud of my Androsians. I'm very proud of my people. I'm so happy to be here and to work with you in this new dispensation. We're going to talk a little bit, and we're going to be very casual. We can be very casual about the things we say and do today. We're going to come back at a later date at our national rally, where we're going to make some noise and sing and dance and carry on, whatever it is. But we're going to just speak casually today and allow you to ask questions. And I'm sure the questions you ask, you're going to get support. We're going to talk a little bit about our Vision 2030. Our Vision 2030 is something that is planned ahead of time. We're not going to wait until the year 2030 to bring our ideas to you. We're going to bring them to you right now. We're going to bring some of them to you right now, which is in 2026. So we're going to talk a bit about our island state governance. Our island state governance. And that is to do with what we're going to do within our communities, within our district. We are going to have one person, a person to be elected as a mayor. You know what a mayor does? A mayor runs things. Mayor don't ask anybody to do anything for them. They run things in their community. So when that mayor comes forward and he's going to have his committee members with him, they're going to actually be on the ground running your state, your island state. Your island state, for this area, it's South Andros, you'll have a mayor there, and he will be responsible for everything that is being done in your community. You know, we now have an administrator. Okay, we also have local government practitioners. We also have a chief counselor that is operating now within our district. But they are so limited with funds. They're very limited with funds, and they can only do as much as their funds would allow them to do. Okay, so we're going to now empower our people in this community with having every bit of funds that is raised or collected within this district, I'm talking particularly about this district, will remain in this district. So if we get $10 million raised in this district, it will remain in this district. And our mayor will be responsible, along with his people, to have this place first class. How about that? What do you think about that? Think it makes sense? You know, gone are the days when one person would dictate what's happening here. We now have a selection committee who will be responsible for this particular constituency, this particular district. Okay? So right now we have South Andros, we have Mangrove Key, and we have Central Andros. 3 different areas to deal with, and perhaps we will have 3 different mayors in that district. Okay? It's subject to change. Am I correct?
Yes, it'll be one mayor for the whole area.
One mayor for the whole entire area, okay? And he would be responsible for running of this district. And this mayor will be someone who's selected from this community, these communities. So they live in the community, so I mean, if you have someone living in this area, I'm sure they would want to take care of their own environment, to take care of their area. Other government agencies will fall into place. We have, just a few weeks ago, named a few shadow ministers who will be named to different portfolios like Ministry of Education, we have Transport and Energy, we have Ministry of Tourism, we have Ministry of Health. All of those were named within the COI office at this very moment. So we're making history all over the place by naming these officers, shadow ministers rather, to be responsible for what's going on in our community today. For instance, if something happens with a health issue, we have our Minister of Health, Shadow Minister Dr. MacGyver, who is a doctor, who knows what's going on with our health situation, she's actually a dentist, a trained dentist, but she knows exactly how to deal with health issues. We have education, and we have none other than our Shadow Minister of Green, who's very experienced in that field of tourism. Okay, so we have other people named to transport. We have environmental. We have different government ministries that we would have our shadow ministers assigned to at the moment. Okay, and that is something that is as much as I want to touch right now. Through our question and answer period, you'll come up with some more ideas and tell you much more about this area. Our guest, our leader, Mr. Bain, who has been with us from yesterday, he's been through all of Minor P. And I think he is descended from Andros. Am I right, Mr. Bain?
Auckland's Crooked Island.
Auckland's
All the Bains and Andros descended from Auckland.
Okay, and then you came to Andros.
No, I didn't come here.
Oh, you?
My dad used to run the mail boat here.
I thought. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I practically grew up here.
Okay, so we will invite our president, Mr. Bain, to come forward, and he will.
No, you introduce him. Miss Green.
Going back to Ms. Green.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll invite Mrs. Green to come back and take us a little further into this program.
Thank you, Mr. Claire. Thank you, Mr. Carlton Claire. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to get ourselves organized. Earlier I think it was yesterday, time is moving so quickly, but we actually did our association installation. We have a few of our association executives present, and I just want to say to those present, congratulations on your nomination and election.
Yeah.
Association executive. So we're moving pretty quickly down here in Andros, but we are here to have a discussion about Andros and how we can move Andros forward under a coalition of independence government. For 53 years, we've been pedaling back and forth between both of the administration, PLP, FNM, PLP. They said if you want something different, you have to vote different. But we cannot complain and keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. As we look at where we are in our country right now, in our nation, we see how the Bahamian people are becoming more lost to the bottom of this chain. In our country, this is our home, but it doesn't feel like home. But I am here to tell you, especially to our men, the time is now. You are fathers, you are brothers, You are uncles. You are the real men of the Bahamas. So what is the Bahamas? The Bahamas is your kingdom. Men are supposed to protect their kingdom for their children and for their children's children. I don't want to see our men succumb to government rulership, especially to government corruption. I see a lot of our men calling these prime ministers and politicians daddy. Oh my God, no sir. You are kings. This is the commonwealth of the Bahamas. That means you are wealthy. You have to take up your rightful place in your land. You cannot allow foreigners or even our own government to take away what belongs to you. We are governed by the Constitution, which is the highest law of the land. The government cannot override it. And if the government is overriding it, it is because you, me, we are allowing it. And then we complain about it. We put them there. They are accountable to us, and we can't remove them. We have the power to.
Yes.
No longer will we allow them to use victimization as a tool against us. This is democracy. And we have the power because the people is the power. Now, if we want change, we can change. And if we demand it and they don't listen, then we take it. We are doing this not only for us. Look at where we are now, all of us. We are here up in age. We need to think about what's behind us. And that is our children, our grandchildren, our grandchildren's children. It's time for us to preserve this country for us. Because other people see what we and our country is valued and worth. And guess what? They fighting for it. And guess what Pinland said? Hold on. Pinland said, if you don't fight for it, you don't deserve to have it. Now I can say this, and I want you to listen to the words that I'm saying. There are foreigners in this country, and they're fighting for this country. They fighting for it. So what does that mean? They deserve it, eh? But they fighting for it. You can, I mean, literally, you can see it. Pinland said, and if Bahamians are not prepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then they don't deserve to have it. So if you have foreigners coming to your country, they're standing up, they're fighting for it, they're putting you to the side, and you're just, oh, nothing is going to change. Oh, I'm not voting this election. Then you don't deserve the country. You don't deserve the country. How can you choose not to vote when foreigners are coming here with passports, voter's card, can't speak English, and it's deciding that they are going to decide where you stand in this country because they are going to vote? So I'm speaking to not only the men, but the women are prepared to stand up behind you, before you, next to you, and fight for our country. And we are going to fight at the polls. We are going to fight at the polls. So I'm asking all of you, come election day, first, if you have not registered, register to vote. And I am asking all of you to stand behind Carlton Clare. The fight is going to take place at those polls. Bahamians, mind your station. I am calling you to order. Mind your station. Your nation is at risk. And I can tell you one thing. Do not kick that can down the road to your children. Because guess what? You know why I'm sitting here? Because someone kicked the can down the road to me. This wasn't supposed to be my fight. But now I'm fighting. And this can will not go down the road to Mikan. We are going to stand now, and we are going to break that 53 years of begging master for crumbs, because the world belongs to you. The Constitution states you are the inheritors of this land. That means everything in it, all of the wealth. This is a God-fearing nation, isn't it? Victimization has no power over you. Victimization has no control. If a government is using victimization on you, they don't love you. This is democracy. And you should be able to vote freely for the policies that is in your best interest. We are going to continue standing boldly in the face of political corruption. Yes. Because we have a country to save. Yes. If that means going to jail, then off to jail I go. But we are going to stand up. Yes. Stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce, well, we all know this man, Mr. Lincoln Michael Bean, the leader of the Coalition of Independence, a man who continuously to fight in the face of corruption, regardless of what others have to say about him. He believes in this country. He believes in the Bahamian people. There is no place in the world like the Bahamas. No place. And I'm not bragging just because I'm a Bahamian. That's the truth. I've traveled other places. But there is, you know, when you hear and you say, I can't wait to get over here, but I just need to go somewhere. But then when you go that somewhere, you're thinking about home, the conch salad, the food, the people. There is no place like the Bahamas. So we need to preserve and fight for what God has given us. I've seen some of the comments. The government can't fix this country, only God can. Well, God gave us authority within the earth. Yes. He gave us dominion within the earth. So I want you to listen to the policies. Policies is what shapes a nation, not campaign slogan, not it's a new day. A new day does not shape the way a country is going. We need policies and we need policy reform. We need our sovereign wealth fund enacted. We need the freedom of information enacted within our Constitution. We need Constitution reform. We're not paying attention to jobs. We're not paying attention to roads. We need to soar higher. They talk about progress, but look at Princess Margaret Hospital. They talk about progress. Where is your fire truck? They talk about progress. We're not going anywhere with PLD. And we definitely ain't going nowhere with FNM. We married them for 53 years and look what they did to us. It's time for a divorce. It's time for a divorce. I'm going to welcome our leader up, Mr. Lincoln Michael Bean, our valiant fighter.
Yes.
Listen, a lot of people are looking somewhere for hope. And this is why the coalition stands. I heard a man said, I am you and you is me, and I will be here with you until the end. It ain't long now. Well, guess what? We are you. We are the Kenyans, and we gonna be here till the end. Please welcome Mr. Michael Lincoln Michael Bean, the leader of the Coalition of Independence. Changing coming.
Changing coming. Changing coming. Yeah. Plug in a million. Need to. Yeah. You got all kind of mics. They trying to attach to me and I'm talking on a mic. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad that you are here. I'm glad that you were here. It means that you want to see something different in your nation and you want to see something different in your community. Bahamians, it's time. Once in every few generations, we have to make a shift because the country is getting stale and stagnant and not going anywhere. We had the shift in 1967. We had the shift in 1992. We've not had a shift since. It's time for a shift. We've been voting for the same party for all these years. The one party, PLP and F&M. That's one party. They made you think that they were different and that they were a different party, but they've been swinging you the whole time. They're the same. They're business partners. They godfather each other's children. They've been working together against you and you've been falling for it. And every time election time comes, you pick a side and not knowing that you're picking the same team. No matter what side you go on, it's the same team. It's the same people who you throwing out. It's the same people who you putting in. There's no difference. And that's why so many people today feel like it don't make sense voting. You know it in your gut, but you just don't want to realize you've been getting swing. But how many of you know that that time is over? It's time for a shift. It's time for the Joshua generation. Before I get into the meat of this, I want to say thank you for your hospitality and thank you for welcoming us here. I want to congratulate all of the new executives. Boy, listen, the COI is doing things that no other third party has ever done, and they're in shock. They don't know, the government and the opposition don't know what to do with us. Just like they don't know what to do with this country. But we'll get to that. But I want to thank you for your hospitality. Let me just say this. Andros people could cook. My Lord. I don't want to go home. Man, that's like on a mangrove key and they had all kind of lobster and all kind of fancy stuff. That plate had but 6 meat on it. The food, that's how you do it. The food was so fabulous. And then we came here to South Andros. I say, boy, they can't top that. Man, listen, from I went for breakfast and ate that stew fish. I think I just tasted the best stew fish in the world. What the place name? Crunch?
Crunch time.
Crunch time. Jesus. I can't get crunch time back with me. Yeah, listen, man. Y'all don't even move to the outside. I just have enough good cooks, man. But the stew fish I had was fabulous. Some other people had some boiled fish and all that kind of stuff. And they got all kind of fancy food here waiting for this town hall meeting to end. All right, so if you're in South Andros and you're watching this, we got some good cook Andros cooking right here, waiting for the end of this. We are tuning in live and we're on all our social media platforms, so make sure that you join and you share the live and use your ad highlights and ad followers. Keep clicking those like and love to the bottom of your thing if you're on Facebook. Don't let them stop. Keep it going. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here because we need transformation. South Andros is a beautiful place. Today we got a chance to show just a little bit about how beautiful you are, how beautiful this place is. People talk about Exuma beaches. Listen to me. That beach which you all got out there, my Lord, that is beautiful. Y'all don't even know what y'all have. Y'all driving past that every day. You know, people paying sometimes, some of them even $1,000 a day, sometimes more, to come and enjoy what you get for free. Some people are paying for that. Well, really, you don't get it for free because you're paying all these taxes, but we can get to that. People are traveling from around the world to enjoy what you have. This is a beautiful place. Would you mind if I be real today? Don't mind if I be real? It's like South Andros is stuck in a time capsule. It's not moving forward. That's not a criticism. It's not your fault. Because you paid some people handsomely over the years to fix that. And you depended on them to fix that. But guess what they didn't do? They didn't fix it. You know why? Because they believed that you were going to vote for them or their best friend anyway. So why do something for you? If someone believed you would vote for them anyway, why do something for you? Think about that. Look at all the communities in the country where they know, where the politicians know you will vote for them anyway. Just look at them. Look at South Andros. It's not progress. Your water turns off at 10 p.m. What manner of nonsense is this? In the 21st century, you have water for a few hours per day? In what world is that acceptable? That's not acceptable. We are going to change that. That must change. Water is a human right. How could we be in the 21st century still having conversations about water and you're talking about progress? What progress? I have never been to a country, except Haiti, where I saw the electricity go off so much. Listen, we got our fingers and foot and toes and everything crossed right now. We'll still be live because we don't need them for this. We don't need their electricity. But we can't have good electricity. That's a right.
Yes, it is.
Why is that a problem to have good working electricity? Why are we keep settling? Why do we keep settling for the same thing over and over? The politicians making you feel like, oh, it can't be done, or it's too expensive. It isn't worth it for you. No, they don't feel you worth it. Anywhere that you have people living should have necessities. Why are we still having conversations about water and electricity? We couldn't go live yesterday because we couldn't get the internet to work. We had to do videos. How do we not have water, electricity, proper internet? Come on, man. How could we wear red and yellow shirts after all these years of it? In 53 years, you couldn't get us some water? 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 If you get trapped on a desert island, the first thing you look for is water, right? And then you can look for food. Water? 53 years later, and if the mail boat doesn't show up, you ain't got no bread. You gotta just eat whatever is available. In 2021, this is in the 50s. And we accept that. I've come here to open your eyes.
Yes.
Please, South Andros. If you want more of what you've been getting, then you vote for them. But you can do better. And I'm going to show you how today. I've come to show you that, and I've come to talk to you and answer your questions. We should not be having conversations about necessities. You pay those politicians 6 figures. With salary and perks, Lundy, yeah, I call his name, is making over $100,000 a year. When you add the money that's going directly to his account, the constituency allowance, that's another $150,000. Where we at? $250,000 a year. Then you add $3,500 per month. How much that is a year? Someone calculate that. We are 250,000. Someone calculate that. Plus another 3,500 a month. You know what calculate that yet? 3,500 a month. How much that is? No one? No one got no calculator? No one? How much that is? Plenty money, eh?
292,000.
No, 3,500 a month. A month.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 42,000. So with the 250,000 and the 40,000, that's 292,000.
So that's almost 300,000 that's going in every year. That's almost 300,000 every year. I just calling round numbers. So now when you take that 300,000, now let's multiply 300,000 by 5 years. That is $1.5 million that he got to do things in the community and for his salary, but he could do or not do because it goes directly to his account. And you ever see them accounting for that? They buy some backpack and, buy some books for back to school. A lot of that is donated. So they get to keep the money. I want you to wake up today, Sir Andros. That's how much you pay in them to make sure you have electricity, water, internet, proper roads. That's the basic stuff. Airports. Basic stuff. That's nothing fancy. That's not progress. Nothing that they are talking about is progress. That brings me to something I saw. We're going to play some videos for you, but we didn't get the internet up in time to be able to download them. I saw some road works being done, right? It was really the piping. They are running pipe from in the south to the bluff, right? Y'all heard about that, right? But let me tell you the sick part about this. This had me in shock that this is happening in the real world. I thought I have to be dreaming. Like someone wake me up. I pinch myself and I would not wake up. I must still be sleeping. So they have, what do you call that? An excavator, a digger, a dredger. They have a dredger, a trencher that is going along the road to dig the hole for the pipes for y'all. All right? But guess what? The pipes ain't here. The pipes are ordered from Canada, but the pipes are not here. And so they are actually still dredging the hole along the road. But guess what? As they dredge, one machine dredges, the next machine comes in the back of it, the bobcat, and covers the hole immediately when they dredge it. Y'all saw that? Are y'all watching this happen around y'all? So, Andros, y'all see that? They are literally dredging. They are digging the line for the pipes, the trench. And as they dig the trench, the backhoe coming right behind the dredger and closing the hole back. What kind of, with no pipes going in there? What? Come on. Is this real life? So someone who was supposed to dredge the hole, I guess they still won't make their money. So pipe in here, I don't care, I dig in that hole. And since the pipe in here, I covering up that hole. And guess what? When the pipes come, I can dig the hole again. That's more money. And then what will happen after I dig the hole again? And the pipe laid. We can cover the hole again.
Unbelievable.
But hey, man, if you're only sick and tired yet, I don't know what to say. That is the stupidest thing I have ever seen a government do in my life.
Yes.
I can't find any other word for that. That is stupid. And on top of that, the dredger that they are using is not appropriate for what they're doing it for. All of the teeth of the dredger is being broken. All of the teeth is being broken off. We took pictures of the dredger with the teeth broken off. And so now it can't really dredge, because, so it's hard. They said the rock is hard. No, you ain't got no teeth. Don't tell me the steak tough. You using gum. Obviously, you need another. Oh Lord, I wish I could have shown you. I wish I could have shown you the pictures. We can load them up this week, and you could be shocked at the things you see. They are dredging the thing, and all the teeth break off of the dredger. My Lord, what? But that person getting paid,
Yes.
and now also persons have been paid to pave the road, you know. But they got an excuse. They can't pave the road because the pipes ain't down yet. So they hold on that money and they just chill. The next government come in power, niggas say, well, we don't like that contractor. They ain't with us. That's what normally happens. They ain't with us, so we can stall that project. Or give it to someone else and then we pay more and more. This is the nonsense that has been going on. They wait till it's election time. Oh, we could do this clinic. 6 months before election, they can decide to do a clinic. And then they won't finish the clinic. And then the next government come in and say, we don't like that contractor. We're not paying him and we're gonna give it to another contractor. And then that contractor don't do it. And then the next government come in and the country is dysfunctional because of corruption. We gotta fix this. But that was the craziest thing I saw. I also saw, and I'm not just gonna tell you what I saw wrong, we're gonna talk about solutions today. We went to an area where there's a government area where the police station is, and the government complex. Love it. Before I get there, we went to the gymnasium. Nice, beautiful, state-of-the-art gymnasium. We need that in every community. Love it. All right? But the gymnasium, the contract for that started in 2014. It is now 2026, 12 years later, and that gymnasium still ain't finished. They had an opening for that in 2024, even though it wasn't really finished. They haven't paved the road around it yet. And so we appreciate that that is a good gymnasium. I like that. But why does it take 12 years and you still ain't finished? This ain't bashing, you know. That's our money, you know. That's ours. Now it's going to start to run down eventually. It's going to start to run down. And then it'll have to be a whole big, another set of millions of dollars to get it up and running. When they signed that contract in 2014, it was agreed that this would be done in 15 months. 12 years later. This is supposed to be 15 months. So when you hear them talking about they building this new maternity clinic, they call it a hospital in Nassau. It is not a hospital. This new maternity clinic in Nassau, they say that should be finished in 36 months. So if the 15 months turn into 12 years, what that 36 months could turn into? I guess 36 years. Because A&E was being renovated from Minister was first gone in power. That's 2017. What this is now? Just 9 years later? That was supposed to be finished in about 6 months. So where do we go from here? So that's the gymnasium. So we went to the government complex and we saw the Ministry of Works, and we're going to post the pictures. Y'all see the Ministry of Works. I got to say this. I say this for y'all, South Andros. The public need to know what y'all going through.
Yes.
The public got to know.
Yes.
The Ministry of Work building is crumbling. That should not be occupiable. There's the cesspit in the front of it has collapsed and you can fall in that and kill yourself. How could that be the Ministry of Works building? Look, it hasn't ever painted before. That's the Ministry of Works. I want you to remember that you pay in taxes.
Yes.
This is no favor you asking no one for. You pay in taxes and you pay in Lundy to fix that. He should be your advocate. He should go to the Ministry of Works and say, hey, this building needs to fix. You're under the Ministry of Works. You all actually have people hired. You don't need a contract for that. Bring these staff over here. Let them fix this building, renovate it or condemn it, and we need another building. You're paying for that. I can't believe what I saw. And then right next to it, there's another house that they have custom officers living in. No human should be forced to live in those conditions. The house is falling apart, cracking up. Yes, cracking up. It should be condemned. I don't want that house to fall down on top of our custom officers. None of our workers should be treated like this. This is wrong, man.
Yes.
And then right next to that, there's a fire truck. We're going to release all these videos this week. There's a fire truck that isn't working. And now they just have one little tank where they put water in that they towed behind something as fire remediation. Andros, you can do better.
Yes. Yes.
But these problems and more, I can't outline all of them because there's a lot of issues. These problems are more and more can be solved very easily. Andros, do you know that you send hundreds of millions of dollars to Nassau every year in taxes? I bet you didn't know that. You send hundreds of millions of dollars to Nassau every year, and you get back a drop in the bucket, hundreds of thousands. Every family island, when you go to them, are suffering from neglect.
Yes. Yes.
We want to change that.
Yes.
You don't have to live this way. But you're living this way because you keep voting for it. If they provide you with no hospital, no ambulance, no fire trucks, and you vote for them, you are telling them you don't want those things because you are giving them your stamp of approval. To vote for them is saying, whatever I've been getting, that's what I want. Isn't it? If they didn't give you no water, you vote for them, you're saying, I didn't want no water. Think about that. If you don't have good working electricity, affordable electricity, you're telling them you didn't want that. So the answer is simple. We got to shake them up. You ever notice how when a by-election coming or election coming out, they just go around trying to do everything all of a sudden? Stuff they could have been doing? That's because they are concerned with one thing, political threat. They don't worry about activism. You can beat up your gum as much as they want. Fast, they're concerned they're here for 5 years. Then their best friend can take over while they're enjoying their time and spending the money they made for that 5 years. And then they can come back and make some more money. And nothing you could do. Because they feel that you are so dumb that they could come and give you $50, beer and chicken, and you will leave things the way it is. I saw them in Mangrove Key. Every year they have this thing with the park, and they just built a bathroom kind of area there. A nice building. And some foreign investors is who funded that. And they fund something every year. They raise money and do it. And I'm grateful to them for that. And they talk to me. They say they're from Montana, and they said they watch my lives. They understand what I'm doing, and they appreciate what I'm doing. And, you know, Bahamians should appreciate that because the Bahamas should be for Bahamians. And I was shocked to hear that coming from foreigners who know the value of what we have, but we don't know it. Get to that in a minute. But there's a budget for beaches and parks, right? If there's a $29 million budget this year, and they're going over by what, 7 million or something, what the hell is that is? That's $36 million. Whatever the number. Why we gotta beg foreigners to do the same park we already have a budget for? That means if the foreigner did it, you didn't do it, so where the money for that gone?
There's the money.
Y'all stop getting swing.
Millions.
The library. I was built not by the government, but by a private organization. The government couldn't even maintain that. The library is already falling apart. That is something for your children and for you to be able to do research and have proper information. But that's not important to them. This place is one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yes.
We just need to move forward now.
Yes.
And how are we going to do that? And that's where we get to what we call island states and city government. Island states and city government means that the money made in Andros stays in Andros. The hundreds of millions of dollars you send into Nassau, that's your money. You pay a royalty to the central government so they can do central government stuff, but the money is yours. If you could keep your hundreds of millions of dollars, I don't remember the exact number out of my head, but it's probably around $300 million, right? Let's say it's $300 million. You all send to Nassau every year. Can you imagine what you all could do with $300 million? I'm sure you all would have an ambulance, right?
Yes.
You're sending $300 million and you can't get an ambulance? They sent one stick shifting that no one could drive the other day. You can't get fire trucks with all this forest? Jesus. Nothing? You can't lay pipe, you dig in hole and put the dirt right back. So your money would stay with you. We break up the islands into cities, and you have a mayor, and that mayor's job is to get things done. His job is to make sure the road paved, the street signs done, the school finished in time, and properly maintained, that all the buildings are properly maintained. You don't wait till it breaks down to try to renovate it. You properly maintain it so it doesn't break down. And if he isn't doing his job, you can fire him right away. How about that? You can fire him right away. Not wait for 5 years for the MP. That ain't the MP job no more. The MP job wouldn't be to give you all stop signs. That ain't the MP job. You don't have to run after MP no more. Because you will have a mayor voted from amongst you. You will have your city council, and you as a city council, you will go as a resident, a voting resident, and you will be able to vote on the budget for what happens with your money. And you'll have your own power and your own budget to do what you need to do. Doesn't that make more sense? So, Andros, how do I know and trust? See, I don't know and trust that the government will fix the road. I don't know and trust that they can fix the library. I don't know and trust that they can fix the schools. But how do I know and trust that you could do it? Because you will fix the road because you got to drive on that. The problem with our current system is 16 people in the cabinet is deciding what happens for every corner of this Bahamas. Let me tell you something. They remember one little park in Mangrove Key when they putting their stuff together. They won't. Y'all depending on politicians too much. Our job is to take power from the politician and give it to the people. That's what we're doing. And so some people ask me, well, Lincoln, how do we know that you're going to when you get it? How do we know that you could do this, you could do that? No, I'm not going to do it. You could do it. We're going to give the people the power. This is how it works in every civilized nation. In Miami, Trump can't tell them whether to build a bridge or build a dam in Miami, whether to pave road or not. That's their business. They have their municipal government. They even have their state government. If Trump want to do something, he can pay for that from the federal money, but he got to get their permission, their buy-ins, because they determine locally what they do with their money to their city council. You see how the book? They do that in America, in Canada, in England, all over Europe. Even the communist countries have that, Russia and China. Because it makes sense that the people who's concerned with the area should have a say in it. It makes sense that you should cut the country up in small municipalities so that you can account for the money better. When you're trying to account for money for a whole country, everything will get lost. But that's the chaos they want, so they could steal our money from the treasury. But when you could look at it in small pockets, and every council mayor has to account for the money that's being distributed, etc., in that community, it's easier to see what's going on all over the country in a glance. But they want to keep it big and wide, and you can't see nothing, you can't understand what's going on and what's going over here and there. We want to give you the responsibility for what you have, empower you, and then let you make it make sense. We have fishing communities like 8 Mile Rock that have no docks. Go and look at the dock in Moores Island, you will cry. And the politicians just been there faking giving them land. You all know they've already taken back all of those conveyances from them people. They tell them bring them back in. They came there, had a big show. Bring all the tents, a big party, plenty of food, more food than we got here actually. Just a little bit more. And after all that, they told them, okay, now you all bring them papers back, eh? Why? Just bring them back. Just bring them back. We could do something though. You can do what? Just bring them back. And that didn't make the news. Because as far as they're concerned, they had the big splash. Just how they came here and had the big splash, the big opening with the gym, and the gym still ain't ready. They just make it look like they're doing something. We got to fix this. So island states and city government is going to fix that. Andros, I want you to know that you are the most valuable island in the entire region. My Andros people, I want you to know that you are rich beyond measure.
Yes.
We are turning over the power to the people. And we are turning over the benefits from our natural resources to you so that you can build this country. Before I explain how that works, this is calcite. One of them. Either one of these is very valuable. If it's quartz, it's very, very, very valuable. We're going to test this when we go back. All right? This is knocking about around here. This just, you ought to see this and just walk over this. When you don't know the value of a thing, you will abuse it.
Yes.
Or you will allow others to abuse it. What's this?
Rock.
What kind of rock? You're right, pretty rock. This is granite. You're from South Andros. You all know y'all got plenty of this, right? And you all know North Andros got plenty of this, right? Morgan's Bluff area? You all know that, right? Just knocking about around here. This would break in the teeth of the dredger. Because it ain't just limestone, which is softer. This breaking the teeth of the grinder. So they need a different type of, not grinder, what thing named the dredger. This is it.
That's what Brian's coming for.
All right? So when you go in those big fancy buildings around the world, this is what you can see. Granite everywhere. Granite on the floor. You go to Atlantis, you can see plenty of granite. This is a valuable piece of material. This is valuable beyond measure. The granite you have in Andros alone could make every Androsian wealthy. But you don't know what you have. Because guess what Perry and Ingram used to say? The Bahamas don't have no natural resources. Well, what this is then? The Europeans came to South America and they saw the local people with some gold rock. And they asked the local people, where did you get that? And they said, this gold rock? This ain't worth nothing. You want this? Oh, I'll show you where. There's a mountain full of this. A whole mountain full of this. Like a mountain? Yeah, a mountain full of this. Come, we show you, we give you, could have it. That's just rock. They didn't know the value of what they have. They didn't know that they were playing with gold. The Europeans saw it and they were like, these people walking around with gold, like that's dirt. And they took them and said, come, white God. Look, this mountain, go in that cave, gold everywhere. And the Europeans looked at that and they said, oh my God, send for backup, send for more ships, more guns. We got this. And they took the same, we call them Indians, but you know they're not really Indians. They took the same natives and made them slaves and made them work the mines to get the gold rock. Made them work. And they took it to Europe through the Bahamas. Plenty of gold rock right off of Andros. That's another conversation. It was only because they didn't know the value of the thing. They kept us dumb over these years, so we don't know the value of what we have. We thought that when they digging up limestone, when they dredging, oh, that's just dirt. Why they always playing with dirt? Why they always got the tractor moving dirt? Because we didn't know that that's one of the most valuable substances in the world. That's the building walking on is more valuable than you could sell it for. We did a documentary to show how they dredged the land in Pinewood. And we actually did the calculation. And we said that if you go down 10 feet, they go down way more than that sometimes. You see how they cut down the hills. If you go down a certain amount of feet, the limestone down there is more valuable than what you could sell the property for. We don't know the value of what we have, Andros. Andros, you are sitting on quartz, you are sitting on granite, and that's just a drop in the bucket. You got alkaline mud. Andros, you got a ragonite like nowhere else in the world. Andros, do you see how your sand is just coming out of the water?
Yes.
Do you know that you could walk from in Camps Bay out there by the dock all the way out to the quay when it's low? That's because the water quay is low tide. The sand keeps coming up. That sand, they use it for everything. Let's take a look around. Let's take a look. The paint on the wall, sand and aragonite. The concrete behind it, sand and limestone. The mortar behind that, sand and limestone. The plastic on this air condition, aragonite. What is share? Plastic, aragonite. The glass on your phone, sand. The microchip in this computer, the chips inside this microphone, sand.
Yes.
The glasses on your eyes, sand. The polyester clothes you're wearing, sand, aragonite. It's just that you don't know the value. They taught us to pick cotton, but they didn't teach us how to make t-shirts with the cotton. They never told us the value of the thing. So we can pick cotton good now, but we ain't know what to do with it. Andros, it's time for us to shift as a nation.
Yes.
It's time to rebel, Andros. It's time to rebel.
Yes.
We've been trodden on the wine press too long. It's time for us to rebel. It's time for us to own the wine press. We drove heading down south, and as far as you can drive, all you pass is bush, trees, forests. Do you know how much that is worth in carbon credits? The forest is worth billions. They already have that as a natural reserve area. It's a reserve forest over there. Since that's a reserve forest, you can get carbon credits for it. It's worth billions. We are doing nothing. They got this throw round on the beach. On the beach, they got this throw round, granite, and we ain't doing nothing with it. We just lazy as a people because we depend on politicians to tell us everything. And we depend, and the politicians depend on foreigners to come and do everything and just get the money from under the table. It's time for change, man. Bahamians are the smartest and most ingenuitive people on earth. We always prosper when we go to other countries. Bahamians always on the top, but not in our country. We got to change that. You have the largest amount of mangroves and grass in the world. They are billions. Billions. It's certified that the carbon credits for the seagrass is worth $156 billion per year. That ain't my words. Most of that in Andros. That money's supposed to be made and stay here. They've already signed a deal to reap $11.34 billion of it. They formed companies to keep it for themselves. That's Anthony Ferguson them. The Guardian, you know, Manny Alexio and them own The Guardian. Or they come after me. They formed their own company. Brave them, let them form a company, and they're gonna benefit. You know what you're getting? Nothing. You know why? Because they believe you're voting for nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you vote for nothing, you get nothing. So don't cry if you put them F&M and PLP back. Pintard of Brent Simonet.
Yes.
Pintard don't have his own career. You don't do nothing with his life. All right? He's never owned a business at no point. Brent wants this.
Yes.
Brent wants this and the limestone, etc., etc.
Yes.
Don't think they just come in from Morgan's Bluff. That's just their foot in the door. Once they start, they come in for your own too. I want you to know that. Do you know how many companies has put proposals to our government to come and mine granite? and give the government a piece of the pie, and every time the government said no. Canadian companies have come and say Morgan Bluff, because the granite is right there. Morgan Bluff is full of granite. And the deep harbor is there to be able to just bring the ships in and ship them out. Andros, you're all rich. But we voting for $50 and bear and chicken. Oh, my MP, man, boy, he buy me a stove. Of course, because he wants this. Oh, he give me $300. Everyone in the house get $300. He gave you 300, he make billions. So it's time to stop selling our souls. So I want to hear from you. We have more to talk about, but I want to hear from you. I want to answer your questions. I got a charger right there on the ground. I want to answer your questions because we got to change this country together. This ain't adding up. This ain't making no sense. We want to do some things that people are saying that we're dreaming too big. But nothing important is ever had by people who don't dream big. Nothing important has ever been accomplished. Why aren't we in the cruise ship business and bringing ships to Andros? Wouldn't that build the economy of Andros? Building facilities for them to come to? Why don't we have overwater bungalows that we own as a people in Andros? Why? Someone explain that to me, please. A sovereign wealth fund will be funded by our natural resources. Our natural resources will fund the sovereign wealth fund. The sovereign wealth fund will then form companies, and these companies will go into tourism business, shipping business, different types of businesses. Okay? So for example, the tourism business. You come to Andros and you invest in real overwater bungalows and hut type situations. Tourists don't want the island feel. They want yachts can now come here to marinas and they have their overwater bungalow where they could look on their floor and they could see the sharks going under them and the turtles swimming under them, and they will pay in Bora Bora a night. A night. That's just the room. That ain't the other money that you make from them. Why don't we have a vision for that? That's my vision for Andros. You got beautiful waters, lots of land. Why don't we have cruise ships coming to our deep harbor? Why don't we dredge deep harbors, sell them in the dredging, buy a ship with it, the deep harbor, you sell the material, you buy a cruise ship. $200 million buys a cruise ship. You see that work? Nothing from no one. You got a cruise ship, that one for Andros. You develop an area where the tourists can have their, a different area, water park, etc. But how we want to do it is we want to empower people. So you have a dream, you have a vision, and so you want to build your overwater bungalows because you already got the property, or we could give it to you because we're giving you the crown land. And we say, okay, here's your money. You're going to partner with the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and the Sovereign Wealth Fund will own a part, and you will own a part, and we're going to give you the money for that hotel. You're the man on the ground. You run that, and you make money because you know Andros. All right? And so now you will help all of us because all of us will make money from what you are doing. But you got the money to do it. The biggest problem you have is access to capital. in the Bahamas. The bank ain't giving you no money for business. They'll give you $40,000 fast to buy a car, but if you put business on that same amount of money, the same loan, they can say no. We're going to empower you in that way through our sovereign wealth fund. People say the COI is talking about giving away money. We don't feel we should have the buyer vote. We think that every Bahamian knows that this country ain't working and we got to try something different. If you ain't feel that yet, then so be it. But we're not doing that for that reason. First of all, that $100,000 thing didn't come from us. That came from the PLP. The union leaders investigated the Aragonite deal that Ingram did in 2012. And then when Perry Christie, he was given the research by the union leaders, and they said that every household can get $100,000. That didn't come from us. Perry Christie said, yes, this is doable. And he formed the Sovereign Wealth Fund to say that we were going to do that. But of course, they never did it. And Brave Davis in 2022, while all of us were sleeping or celebrating Christmas, ended the Sovereign Wealth Fund because they never intended to do it. We're going to change that. All right? The reason we want to give that money to you is because all of the visions and dreams and talent that God sent for us as a people is inside you. All of us have one talented family member where you say, boy, I wish I could have had the money to give him to open this business for him. I wish we could have put together, but we ain't got it. And so now when you get your benefits from your sovereign wealth fund, you can put your money together as a family. And you can say, let's do this thing for the cruise ship tourists who come in here. These millions of tourists who are going to be. Now you have the money to do what needs to be done. The government job is to put things in place so that the people build the country. The vision is in you, not in the politician. That's why nothing getting done. We keep asking them every year, okay, what's your plan? What you want to do? No. Nothing great in America was done by the government. People did those companies. Human beings. The government didn't invent SpaceX. The government didn't invent Starlink. These people doing these companies, they didn't invent the automobile. People did these things. But here, we sitting back waiting on the government or on foreign investor. Because that's how they train us. The reason we want to put the money in your hand, and some people can squander it. That's how business works. Some people can squander it. But guess what? Money don't disappear. It's like energy. When they spend that money, they spent it with someone else who doing their thing. The money don't go nowhere. They say, oh, some people, they can just spend that, man. Good. Then whatever they spending it on, I can open a business for them to give it to me. Oh, they like liquor? See my liquor shop right there. Come spend. Oh, they like the club? Okay, here's my club. They spend right there. The money ain't going nowhere. And it's coming right back to the government through taxes. Money cannot be destroyed. You could tear up a $100 bill right now and it still exists. So we want to transform the nation by transforming you. We don't want to make the Bahamas great again. We want to make Bahamians great again. Because once we make you great, then you're going to make our nation great. In Dubai, Qatar, and those kind of countries, they went from developing nation to developed nation. You know how they did that? Only thing they did, it wasn't because they had oil. Many countries had oil and squandered it, including England. What they did was empower their people, and the people built the nation. That's how they did it. They empowered their people. When you go to Dubai, you see these, what they call the sheiks and all that, and they just chilling, they ain't working, they just sitting down thinking what business they could do next. You think they royalty, they ain't royalty, they citizens. They're regular, everyday citizens. But you think they royalty because their government empowered them. Their government made them royalty. because they pay them royalties. That's how you become royalty. Bahamas, Andros, you are royalty. And we're going to make you royalty. And we fight for our Bahamian people because I believe they're royalty. And no one should be beating Bahamians down. Bahamians should not be disadvantaged in their own country. It's time for us to rise up, and we got to rise up together. It's simple as that. It's time to rise up. You are royalty. And we are going to build this nation by building you. A great university is great because the students are doing great. The students getting good grades, then the university can brag. They can charge more. Yale can say, we have the best of the best. But if the students ain't doing good, you can't say you have the best of the best. So our success is not going to be based on how much money the government making, how much taxes the government collecting, how much the foreign investor making in our country. It's going to be based on how many Bahamians we make great. That is my mission. That is my goal. I wrote a best-selling book about that. It's called Identity Crisis. It's about finding your purpose. And now we're in a position to make sure that every Bahamian has what they need to live their purpose. Can you imagine people doing something because they love it, not because they need a job? Can you imagine someone doing what they actually love and was born to do? Many of you cannot do what you're born to do because you just need a job. So that dream you had, that's dead. Can you imagine? They had experiments in Canada where they gave everyone was equivalent to $96,000, so say $100,000. In Manitoba, that's the old state, everyone got their money. And they had an experiment to see more people would be drinking, more people would do drugs, if people would stop working, and the opposite happened. Less people did drugs. Less people was drinking. I guess it was less stress out. And people were more productive. People started doing what they love, and the whole state started doing better. And people experimented and took risks because they had a cushion to fall back on. You don't try no business because, boy, listen, that mortgage got to pay. If this business fails, I'm in trouble. His children got to go to school. And if this business fails, them children, they could be in problems. It's time for the Bahamas to change its thinking. It's time for us to have a great leap forward. It's time for us to take flight and rise up. I am sick of conversations about paving road and water and electricity. We can do them things and we ain't even gonna brag with them. That's just normal, everyday stuff. When the maid makes the bed, you don't praise her for making the bed. You don't praise her for washing the dishes. Oh, my maid washed the dishes. Hallelujah. That's a job. Stop praising politicians for failure. If we still having these conversations we're having today, not only have they failed, but we have failed. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, our country is under invasion. And this is just the reality. Selling passports. Big money. Selling work permits. Big money. That's why they're letting it happen. What they accuse, the email accuses Philip Brave Davis of doing, that they was trying to be abused, trafficked children who got kidnapped from their families, and their families are terrified, don't know where they are, but they're on the other side of the world. And they would have been right here in the Bahamas because our politicians, instead of having integrity, would entertain these monsters. They always do. Think with your child. Think about if you in Miami shopping with your child and you just don't see where your child gone. Your child just disappear. Gone. Think about that. Think about how you would feel. That's what these monsters were doing. And our government having conversation with them to give them a whole island that they would be using to bring the children. Bahamians are too quiet on this Epstein. This is the ultimate embarrassment that we've had, you know. I know we recently had FTX. I know they had Carlos. This Epstein thing is the worst of the worst. And because the island was, they say it was on the market for 20. They say, man, listen, give us 3 million and you straight. Now bring that under the table thing and you get it for 3 million. That's what they was doing. A $20 million island, he was going to get for 3 million. And so obviously he had to pay something under the table. Bahamas, we ain't tired of getting embarrassed internationally. And then he was going to get permanent residency and then citizenship, so he could duck taxes and everything else in the U.S. This ain't acceptable, man. This ain't acceptable. They're talking about meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister, Chester Cooper. And we ain't saying nothing but that. He said, oh, I never met him. Boss, they say they talk to you. They ain't got no reason to lie. You might not meet Jeffrey, because he's a big boy. You can meet with everybody, but you was meeting with his people. And so, allegedly. So they was coming to talk to you. There was accusations out there that our government could have spent 2 seconds on Google and they would have known not to even be entertaining that man conversation. Sabas is running. His name is called. That ain't even making a blimp. They said people smuggling and gun smuggling. People smuggling and gun smuggling is what they said. So Adrian say, oh, I've never been accused of doing anything wrong like that. You are convicted of people smuggling. We got to fix our country.
Yes.
This place is broken. The legal and illegal foreigners, and they're selling residency, permanent residency, all that stuff to the legal ones with plenty money, for under the table money, and they're selling the same thing to the illegal ones for under the table money. If you keep letting this happen, I want you to understand the majority rules. Teachers from all over the country is calling us and telling us if they got 20 students, 16 is foreigners, 4 is Bahamian. The nurses are telling us that if 20 children are born in a day in Princess Margaret, $16 for the foreigners. 4, choice is yours, but your children can't fight this fight that is to come. Majority rules. That means when they get there, they can vote for anyone to be their prime minister. And they can make whatever law they want. They could pass a law saying the Bahamas is now a colony of Haiti. Because majority rules. I need y'all to take this serious. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate any race of people, but I believe that Bahamians should be first in the Bahamas. And I don't believe that any politician is fighting for that right now, other than the COI. I'm on bail for fighting for that. I had to sign in. Because I'm not playing with this. And I call on our men to stand with me and defend this nation, defend our women and children. We too soft, man. I dare you to try to go to Haiti and take their land and build a house on their land. Go on then, and we can see who's xenophobic. I don't get any political advantage by this because I'm going to offend some people by saying this. But if I have to choose between you voting for me and saving my country, I can speak the truth. So that when your children grow up and they realize that they're in a situation where they are last class in their own country, they can realize shows that for them. Northwest Roker said in 50 years, you could be in trouble. It's 50 years later. We're in trouble. I'm asking y'all to stand with me. And just one election. Let's stop believing. Let's stop making politicians. Let's look out for ourselves this time. This is my solemn and genuine mission to empower our people. I have no other ambition to empower us because they kept us dumb. And my job was to educate you, to bring sight to the blind, to open your eyes, to let you know that we can have a proper hospital on every island. Have proper electricity on every island. We can have proper water on every island. Enough of the excuses. The PLP and FNM has failed us. The FNM is not a choice to go to because they failed us. They did nothing for y'all. The PLP did nothing for y'all. So we gotta shake things up. And that's what we are here to do. And so we can talk a little bit more, but we want to hear from y'all. We want to answer your questions. If it's something you don't understand about certain things, you want to know what we want to do with this time for y'all. We don't ever put the crowd on camera. All right, we don't want them seeing who they are. All right, so you ain't got to worry about that. All right, they'll just, hear us and we do what we have to do. All right, but ladies and gentlemen, stand with me as we defend this nation. They gonna vilify us, they gonna lie on us, they gonna attack us. But guess what? We fighting for you. Finland got locked up for you, Marlo Butler got locked up for you. Randall Fox got locked up for you. You think Brave get locked up for you? You think Pintard get locked up for you? Ministry get locked up for you? Perry? Nuh-uh. Hubert Ingram? Stand with who's standing for you. And you will get the change that you're looking for. Thank you. So we want to open the floor for questions. And We want you to speak in the mic so persons online can hear you. We need someone to control the mic, please. Oh, you have one, okay. Come on, don't be shy, don't be shy. One in the front, one in the front.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Lockhart. First, I'd like to thank Ms. Green for inviting me on this COI mission. I came here, able to ride around, take a look for myself. I told my friends that Andros is not a flat island.
One in the front, one in the front.
Island of Golden Hills, then go to Cat Island. I thank God I was able to come here and take a ride for myself. I just was surprised to see, like I'm still already Golden Hills. I just want to take another little ride around the town where she was born. Mr. Daniels. Well, if you to bring me there, to go ahead and get a piece of land.
Yes.
You talking about Crown Line?
Yeah, now they just put some on the line. Or I think my advance will be.
When the COI gets in, every Bahamian is going to get an acre of land. Let me put this in perspective for you. Andros alone has 1.5 million acres of Crown land. Andros alone has about 1.5 million acres of Crown land. That's just Andros. If you gave every Bahamian adult an acre of land, that wouldn't even touch Andros. That's only 200,000 acres. There's 4 million acres of Crown land, roughly, because 500,000 of it is wetland, but about 4 million acres of Crown land in the country. Given every Bahamian adult, not the children, people say, how you give it to 400,000 people? They keep counting the children. Children don't make money. Children don't sign contracts. It's for the adults. You take care of your children. An acre of land is like 8 pieces of property, 50 by 100. That's for you and your children. And so if you give every Bahamian an acre of Crown land, that don't touch the 4 million. What's the problem? Land is empowerment, and they don't want to empower you. They want to keep you poor so that when they come around giving out peanuts like Sebastian, that you will appreciate them. Because a person who is doing well for themselves, you can't come to them with $50 or $100. And that's why they keep you poor, so you'll be dependent on them. When they buy you a stove, buy Grammy a stove, they feel like you feel like they did so much. But they're intentionally keeping you poor, so you'll be dependent on them. So we want to give you a wealth. Generation property, what a good food coming out. Generation property, we're going to give you title deeds to generation property. They don't want to give you the deed. They'll tell you could build on it, but they'll say you ain't getting no title to it. We could change that. The reason they don't want to give you title to it is because then it becomes valuable. It becomes wealth. This is what we want to change. By empowering Bahamians, we can change all that. In the early days, America was giving away land to Americans in the West so that they would spread west. All right? And Mexico couldn't come up and Canada couldn't come down. They was giving away land and giving away grants, etc. Canada was doing the same thing. They was empowering their people with land. That's how they became great, but we don't know our history. We are going to empower our people, 1, with land, and 2, with opportunities to develop that land. All right? So that's it. You do what you want to do. If it's Crown land, go on it, possess your Crown land, and build what you want to build on it. But if you want to wait for us to get it and you get your deeds for it, then that's your choice too. Crown land belongs to the Bahamian people. That's the law. Questions? Anyone? Go ahead. Put the mic to your mouth. Put the mic.
The question is so long and lengthy.
Go ahead.
Just like how old the Venezuelan was supposed to take us to the promised land, which he never was to take us to the promised land. And who was very with a lot of people. We are entitled, and we're entitled, so we're not arrested, we're not power on the other thing. The next one was the next prophet. He thought he was the final two. David. Now, Joshua was the one who had the vision, and God made him take to the promised land. Now, I stand with your vision, and I would like to know that once I believe in this vision, not COI vision, quote unquote, up top. The vision for South Andros and progressing forward. Is this going to be the new people to take us to the promised land? Is this the new Joshua? And I don't think him. Because he's riding on the same roads we riding on. He's doing the same things we feeling. His water is turned off when our water turned on. When the lights turn on and the mosquitoes bite, he gets back to when the mosquitoes are off. Sorry, I'm so high. But I just want you to know I'm passionate. And I feel like he could be the new Joshua, depending on how you look at this. You know why I say depending on how you look at this? The people have different psychological problems over here and mind manipulation problems. To say it like this. My granddaddy was this person. My daddy was this person. And now it's me. So my dad was a mule.
No sound.
Ew. Okay, he'll have sound now. Yeah, what happened was that wasn't up. They'll have sound now. Hmm?
Come on, folks, ask your question. I've been getting them all over the place. The business come. Ask a question.
You still need it?
He's here now. He won't be here tomorrow. Leave early in the morning. Let's get this question.
Oops.
Let's get those answers.
Let me see Gavin.
Come on, don't be afraid. Any question?
We have plans to transform. Take this. Yeah. We have plans to transform banking in this nation. There's no reason that you should have a bank. There's no reason that you should have a bank. Sorry about that for those who were tuning in and couldn't get any sound. We didn't have the camera up for that. But basically, I was letting them know that people were empowered by land. All right? The people were empowered by being given land when they go.
But you are suffering from a banking crisis, a cash crisis. That's what we have. There's no reason that we have bank account one day. One. You understand? Say one day. So on Wednesday, they are open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The bank in the Bahamas. Let me make this abundantly clear to all of you. When we come to government, we are going to nationalize the Bank of the Bahamas. It's mostly owned by the government now. We're going to pay off the shareholders, and we're going to make that a national bank. And then the reason we're going to do that, and the reason we're going to do that is because it will now not be a for-profit organization. There will be no need to make profits and need to charge high fees to pay profits to shareholders, because a right, something that should happen. Just like they subsidize the mail boat, because that's something that you need the mail to go around. They subsidize Bahamas Air because you need air traffic to move around. They give preschools, they subsidize that. We need to subsidize banking. You should not be trapped on this island with no money. So we're going to fix that. So first thing, we're going to take over Bank of the Bahamas, and we're going to make sure that we have bank branches on every island. These bank branches are not going to be for profits. It's not going to matter whether they make a profit from these bank branches or not, because they're going to be a necessity. When you have an archipelago or a nation that is spread out, you need roads, transportation, you need to connect them. And you need the currency to be able to travel throughout all of them. And so if you have a breakage in the money, that's like your blood not being able to flow throughout your body. Money is currency. It is what keeps the economy alive, flows. We have a breakage. So we're also going to, and we're in conversations with experts in the field right now. Everything you see us talking about, we are talking to the experts in those areas to make sure that on day one, we know what to do to get these things done. We're not like, pit out and them complaining with everything, but they don't have a vision. We're giving you vision. We gave you Vision 2030. We started with vision. And we are also talking to the experts to get these things done. So in terms of the banking, we're going to one, nationalize it, and then two, make sure you have banking branches in every island. But also there's going to be ATMs that you don't need banks for. These ATMs are going to be able to give you access to Bitcoin, because we're going to make Bitcoin national currency, legal tender, same way El Salvador did. All right? It's going to be legal tender. It's going to give you access to Bitcoin and, the ATM.
But these are not going to be ATMs, they're going to be ABS, automated banking machines. So what's going to happen is, and I'm in discussions for that right now, what's going to happen is the ATM machine, money that comes into it, now it goes in the safe, it's stored there, and the money can't come back out. It just stays in that machine. Someone flies from Nassau, collects that money, and puts new money in. Let me tell you, that makes no sense. If the machine can accept money, it can check the counterfeit, know what money came in, because every dollar has a code on it. All right. That same money can go back out. So the machine never runs out of money. So you get, if people withdraw $1,000 and only 1,000 was in the machine is now out of money, right? But if they deposit 1,000 also, then that 1,000 can go back. Make sense? You see how different that is? So now the same money will circulate in that machine. Just like go to the store. I go to the store, I buy the store. Someone else goes to the store, and I give them the same dollar exchange, right? That I got from you. It circulates. All right, because it's currency. So now the ATMs will be able to be up more and not run out of money because the same money that comes in, coming out. You see how all we need is vision? We're gonna, and so that's one of the things that we're gonna do in terms of currency. Your question? Go ahead. Good question. You have the list. You have the list of the new executive with you. Go ahead.
Okay, so the first question you asked, said, want to know who we are. Some of the executives work for government, and therefore, because of victimization, they'll be working in the background. But we have opened up 2 association branches, and we have opened up 2 association headquarters, and we have enlisted the branch executives for those associations. There were some people that actually stepped forward and nominated themselves. For example, someone who isn't afraid to show her face, that would be Ms. Elizabeth Turnquest. She is the chairman for this district for the branch association. Then the vice chair, and in the back, I think you are the DJ. Okay. We have quite a few persons who basically are showing their faces. So, for example, you would have the secretary. You will know who she is here, but she doesn't want to be mentioned online. Like they said, victimization is a serious thing. I'm trying to get people to come forward in terms of not being afraid of the government, but this is the system that they created, but not only did they create it, we helped bred this type of system because of our fear. But you do have people who want to step forward and bring changes. But we do have a full functioning association. And I guarantee you that when you will get to meet a lot of them. And the shadow minister, I guess, Mr. Bain can fill you in on the
Shadow minister assigned to local government and family items. And the shadow minister whatever is happening within those portfolios, I'm responsible to answer, check, investigate, see that everything is great. Local government and front yard. But I think that's on the topic.
All right, so let me just make this clear for you. Yeah. Shouldn't be sure. Our shadow ministry is like this. All right? We're going to have new and different ministries to do certain things, and we're going to move certain responsibilities around. We don't want to preempt ourselves by telling them everything we're going to do. For example, our Ministry of Transport is now going to be in charge of paving roads, all right, or building roads, all right? Our Ministry of Transport is going to have responsibility, not the Ministry of Works. Let me tell you why that makes sense. They always tell you this is excuse for all the money in the consolidated funds, so there's no accounting. You pay a license fee for your car. You pay a driver's license fee to drive on the road, but you got bad roads. You pay, when you pay for your gas, there's a tax for what you pay for the gas, but you got bad roads. Now, the Ministry of Transport is going to be responsible for all of that. Transport, the pay your license, your cars, etc. Now, the roads is that their responsibility. You see how much more sense that makes? And so, they are the responsibility of making roads. So, we don't have to worry about the Ministry of Works coming to the next to do that. The money made there can be used there. Same thing with aviation. The money they collect in aviation is go to making sure we have airports and that kind of stuff. That's money from our skies, taxes on airlines, etc. Making sure we have our airports, etc. We don't have to be begging for loans over and over the place. The money should just go to that and not be squandered. All right, we have enough money to do what we need. The problem is they inflate contracts in order to pay off who they need to pay off, and they, you know what they do. And so we're going to make it make sense. And so in terms of his shadow ministry, his job is to monitor with concerns about the islands and speak to them. Shadow ministry is the spokesperson. All right, and also local government. We're getting rid of local government, and we're going to island states and city government when we get it. All right, and that doesn't need a ministerial portfolio, because then you're going to have a governor for the whole island and mayors for sections of the island moving forward. Go ahead. Put the mic straight to your mouth. People online can't hear.
Well, that will be established very short. We're working on that now to get that up together. And we definitely will have that.
Yeah, he just talking about what's up. We already have what's up. Not the app. The confusion is we're going to be doing apps for every constituency. All right, mobile apps that you can put on your phone. That's when we become the government. Apps have already been established actually. But those apps are going to be used to disseminate information. You can identify where potholes are. When your MP is going to Parliament to vote on something, you're going to be able to actually go in your app and vote. It's secure, so we know that it was you. And you're going to be able to vote on that app. And there's a lot of things you're going to be able to do on that mobile app. And it will give you access to your member of Parliament. You can book your appointment right on that app. So that the Secretary helps, but no, you go on the app now and do it. They don't even know that you don't deal with a human. You go on the app, book it, and show up when it's time to show up. And so that's different. But the WhatsApp, we already have the WhatsApp. You just have to be added to it if you will be added to it.
Thank you. Like this thing said, I expect people on the WhatsApp. We have WhatsApp group and the coalition. Every single constituency has their WhatsApp group. If you're not a part of it, you're dealing with many people who are working from behind the scene that are making this movement possible. So just like the description is always used, see the body, but what is functioning in the body is the organs inside that you cannot see. The heart, the liver, the kidney, they are there when they are working. So we have persons that are present, that are working. And we know how it is on Family Island, especially when it comes to victimization. But I want you to know that the executive, not all of them, but there are a few who want to support, but are actually a little bit afraid of the victimization.
I want to mention something that some of you might really mention about our plans for the transportation. We don't think that you have to suffer in order to go to some other island. Really not suffer to go to some other island. We are gonna, yeah, he said from there right there. You know, it makes no sense. We're gonna transform this. Firstly, our airplanes are going to be now run like a train run or a bus run. So that means that you stay on the plane, and if you go into the next stop, you stay on the plane, and if you get off, you get off. So they're going to be planes that only run to certain islands. They're going to jump from, example, Inagua, Iguana, Auckland, Crooked Island, etc., and then they go back down to the islands there that are here. And so they're going to run, just hop into those. It saves fuel, it saves time, and it only hops to those. You might have 3 planes that's running hop into those islands every day. Now, when you get to Long Island, which is the hub for South Central, you can get off on your plane in Long Island. Then you can jump from Long Island, Exuma and all of those ones in the central area, and you can actually get over to Providence, and then you can get to the Northern Island. So in one day, you're going to be able to get from Inagua all the way up to Freeport in one day. You can go from any island to any island in Bahamas. All right, so that's going to change the game. So just like you have a bus route or train to get to there, this makes much sense. So these planes need service central, these need service south. And every morning, a plane goes from Long Island, starts heading south, another plane goes from Inagua, starts heading north. They are crisscrossing each other all one day, and then you get off on the hub, and you just change planes, and you move forward to the next route. So it's going to be easier, it's going to be cheaper, but it makes sure that you can get from any point in this country to any other point on any given day. And because we're now connected, it's going to change the economies of all of these islands. Some islands are not populated because it don't make sense. If you go there, you got to wait for 3-4 days to get another plane to get out. And so that's not up. And so what made Rome great was its roads. It connected the entire empire. What made America great is its highways and its trains. It connected all of those 50 countries in one. We call them states today. It connected all of them and made them one, but it made them able to connect and work together to cause the economies to shift around in there. What we are going to do is connect all of the Bahamian islands. It's going to be called One Bahamas. And we're going to create what we call the Golden Road. And the Golden Road is going to be based on some new vehicles. And we've been in meetings constantly with some powerful people who are creating a new type of vessel. They've already started. That is not boat, it's not plane, it's in between both. So it flies about 10 feet above the water, and it goes when it's going to go fast. Right now it's on 155 miles per hour. They're going to make them that goes 400, 500 miles per hour. You're going to be able to get from one island to the next in minutes. All right? And it's going to be able to take, they're big. They take containers, you can carry your cargo, everything you want to carry with you. But now, they're going to have similar routes to what I just said, the airplanes are doing, and and you're going to be able to connect all of the islands, right? These planes are going to be run by hydrogen, which means water. They just split water, move the oxygen from hydrogen, H2O, and they're making fuel from water. So from the ocean, they get the free fuel, and they're powered by water, being done right now in the Maldives, and we're going to bring it here to the Bahamas. So if it's powered by water, the most of the fuel of Bahamas Air is, most of the cost is fuel for Bahamas Air and the middle. Most of the cost. When we kill the fuel costs and we start using these new vessels, it brings the cost of traveling down. And so now instead of paying Bahamas Air $200 and something to go from Nassau to Freeport, now for pennies on the dollar, you can go from Nassau to Freeport very easily and even in a faster way. And so it's going to connect all of the islands. So now it makes sense for you to farm in Andros, because every day your product can be going to all parts of the country, not just to Nassau. To from here to Freeport, etc., etc. And I want you to understand that farming is a big part. Agriculture is a big part of what we plan to do, and fisheries. We have our plans on the internet, but agriculture, we're going to invest heavily in that because we believe we can feed ourselves and we can feed the world. We are in temperature zone in the Bahamas. We can grow anything, but we're not taking advantage of that. And they kill agriculture because the oligarchs in this country makes money importing food, so they don't want you growing it here. And so they kill this. They allow Cuban to put laws in place to reduce how much to bring to the packing house, remember that? And tell you how big your storage can be on your property. So a lot of it waste. They put laws in place so you can't sell directly to the food store. Think about that. And that's why you don't see Bahamian fruits and vegetables produce in the food store. We're going to change that. Yes. We are buying Frankenstein food in this country. I don't want the PLP or Michael Pitt talking about that because he was the Minister of Agriculture and did nothing to stop it. Nothing. And so we're going to change that. We're going to make sure we have Bahamian fruits and vegetables on our shelves in this country. It has to happen. Cancer rate is too high because we are buying for export only food. Mutated, dangerous foods. And so we are going to make sure that our farmers, there's 700 licensed farmers in the Bahamas, and we're going to make sure that these 700 farmers are funded. Other countries subsidize farmers. America, agriculture is their number one industry. Let's let you know that. Agriculture. They subsidize agriculture because you've got to be able to feed yourself. You can't depend on no one else. During Dorian, we have roughly about a week and a half of food in the Bahamas at any time. And so if we have a natural disaster, Florida gets hit hard, it's over. We get starved. And so there's a week of food. And so we got to change that. We got to be able to grow our foods here, process our foods, not just grow tomatoes, can them. Yes. Why can't we? We can grow rice. How much wetland we have in this country? Why aren't we growing rice? Why aren't we fishing on a bigger level? And why aren't we also farming fish? China is the biggest supplier of fish in the world. It's all farmed fish. China, the majority of fish in the world comes from there. We got to change this. No one in the world is going to compete with us with fishing. That's our thing. But they don't empower us. And so we're going to empower our fishermen with grants from our Sovereign Wealth Fund so that we can sell seafood products around the world. Seafood comforts. And we have special things in our waters that they want. Even seaweed. You believe that? Things out of the sea that we just have wasted and rotten on the beach. Come on, man, we got things wasted and rotten and then we go and begging. Our politicians look like Joneses begging for money. Begging. We are just not using what we have. I'll tell you something. God never gets you with what we have. That's why when the children of Israel asked meat, he didn't give them meat. You know what? When they came out of Egypt, the first they cried for the water. Oh, you bring us in this desert to thirst to death, for us and our cattle to thirst to death. And so they did a miracle and they find water and made it taste sweet. That made us miracle. First it tastes bad, and then afterwards, they put something in the water and it tastes good. But you heard what they said? Us and our cattle. And you know their next cry was, oh, we already did meat. They already had meat. But they don't touch theirs, they want God provided. And so that's why he gave them manna from heaven. Bread of heaven. He never gives you what you already have. We have everything we need to be a great nation. We're in the mouth of America. Singapore became great because it was in the mouth of Asia. You had to pass through Singapore to get to Asia, so they started selling refined fuel. And then they started investing and doing different investments. They have no natural resources, but 1 in 6 households has $1 million in cash, not value. $1 million in cash in Singapore. Japan became wealthy because to get to China, you got to go to Japan. And they invested in their people. Singapore invested in its people. We got NID, we got taxes. Singapore has a type of NID where it's an investment fund. So the money comes out of your pay and it goes into this fund and you can only use it for investment. So that when a company comes to Singapore, they say, you own us, and people of Singapore own us. And where people get the money from? In their investment fund. Think about it. That's how they made all of their people wealthy. 1 in 6 households has $1 million of cash. And the 5 out of 6, that's the foreigners who came to work for them. We can transform this nation, transform our thinking. Yes. Why aren't we in the shipping industry? Why? MSC is doing it. They started with 1 regular boat. Now they got almost 1,000. We got a free port there that can receive the stuff that you ship. In fact, right now, every container that comes through Panama Canal, etc., from the south is going to America. It stops in Freeport, changes ship, goes to the hub, and then it goes on to America. We already have it. Everything is set up for it. Why did we go into the shipping industry? It's not today. Why are you going back in China money? Why don't you have ships that are going to China? China had a problem. Trump said, we don't want no Chinese ships coming into America. If we had ships bought from America or bought from Denmark, Finland, wherever, we could have taken advantage of that. Because of our location. They can't compete with us because you bring the stuff from China, store it in our free port. You store it in our free port, and then as you need it, you just take it over piece. So, for example, Walmart needs to bring a big amount of stuff over from China because it takes so long. And when they bring it in, they have to pay customs on it right away. They have a big chunk of money they have to pay. But with the Bahamas and our shipping company, we say, hey, not only do we ship it for you, we store it for you. And if you're storing it, you don't have to pay customs on it in America right away. And you only take over what you need, but it's stored right over the border where you didn't have to pay the customs, the taxes, until you need it. That's trillions of dollars because America has a multi-trillion-dollar economy. Can you imagine if all of those major companies start storing their products in the Bahamas so they don't have to take it over right away? Or they can store it here and when you take a certain amount as they need it. Oh, come on. And we need vision in this country. We've got to do something. There are rallies that are going to start soon as that is finished. And
And they're gonna be talking about how they're gonna build this pothole and, fix this pothole and they're gonna pave road and they're gonna build a bridge. Man, come on, we can't be having this conversation no more, man. Or we gonna buy ambulances. They talking about we gotta shift. We have to need a generational shift, man. All we need is a vision to get this done. Give something else done. Just one time. We can't make it no worse. But they can. Every election it gets worse. We can't even buy food. You can't afford rent. You can't afford electricity. We voting for that? Talk to your friends and family. Tell them it's time. They claim me I'm a part of it. They think I'm doing this because I just want to be prime minister. I don't. I will spend the rest of my life with my children. I want to travel the world and enjoy myself, but I can't. Because I can't leave my children to suffer in this country the way things is. While the foreigners taking over, getting all the contracts, buying up houses all over Nassau. The foreigners buying up houses cash. Because they got the drug money. They got the illegal immigration smuggling money. They're buying up the houses cash. Buy up all your land, you're going to be a people, will be nomads and fighting. Wake up. Brave niggas in the task. You said he's one of them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now come on, his culture, you know. I didn't mean making fun of him. His birth mother was Haitian. And they say he was adopted. That's why he don't look like his brothers. Pintar was adopted, his birth mother was Haitian. Nothing wrong with that. But bro, go be prime minister in your country, man. Every position a foreigner gets in this country, that's a behavior you didn't get that opportunity. If they got a seat in the police force, that's one behavior you didn't get that seat in the police force. Then I was the same thing. Alpha says, station. Don't you know that? Yes. We just sitting down and let that country be taken over, and we just sit there and say, boy, they just taking over, man. What the government can do? They just let this happen. No, you gotta stand up and fight. And all you gotta do is fight with your pen. Well, with your indelible pencil on election day. So all you gotta do is put someone different there. You know what I get. I can be the minister of national security and immigration. So you know what's up now. We're going to get this right. We're going to fix this. Any other questions? Okay. Is she talking about family land that's owned by family or generation property? Some Bahamians who take generation land, but they just mean that their great granddaddy owned this land, bought it or bought a grant for that land. That's different than generation property. Generation property actually is the slave masters as a form of reparation left the plantation for any persons who work slaves, sent to work with that family, that plantation, sorry. So you're talking about land that your family owned or land that slave owner left for your family.
So I really can get me, before you question. Is it generational land you're talking about, or is it land that a slave master left for a person who was and so there is, that's a good question. If she's talking about land that was inherited from your grandparents, not slave master, not generation property. There are a lot of baby families who've been disenfranchised because mostly the government, especially that human acre, but this is doing it now. They've taken the land from the Indians because they feel they have too much land, they don't know what to do with it. And they feel you can't swim, you don't know what to do. Let me tell you what worked back in the day. You'll see these documents where the king gave 500 acres, 1,000 acres, one person. And you're like, that doesn't make no sense. How can you own all of that? That doesn't make no sense. Where you get that land from? But back in the day, that is how it worked. The queen or the king actually distributed land to certain persons that would become what they call a landlord, right? And all of the profits of money made on that land, a piece would go to the queen. The queen didn't have a mechanism like today, the king, to go and tax every single individual. So what they would do is they had landlords they trusted, that they empowered, and the landlords would then pay based on what they were collecting for all that land. All right, that made it easier to manage, to break it down, easy to manage. So they would, to make that make sense, you would have to give out a bunch of land to that landlord. All right, and so that's how it worked historically. So they even did it in the Bahamas. They would say, okay, you get all this. The person who owned all of them might go, oh, I didn't get this land. But that's what they did. Some islands or keys was given to a whole family or to a person and his descendants should own it. Like Half Moon Key. Half Moon Key was owned by one family. But Cuban England said, I want to give that to Disney. And so it's 440 acres. So he took the 40 acres, the beachfront, gave it to Disney, and then the family go kick rocks. Sue me. Broke down their houses and everything they had on there. So they go kick rocks. They've done that to many families in this country, and we're going to right that wrong. We are going to fix that. Because the new modus operandi is going to be, when the farmer comes here, they are going to have to work with those families. So if you have, like, for example, with the Half Moon Key thing, our government would have approached the family and said, listen, Disney wants to put the resort right here on Half Moon Key. What we're going to do is, you're going to partner with them. You're going to own a part, and Disney going to own a part. You see how we just made those landowners millionaires? As simple as that. So you will own a part, Disney will own a part. Now your land is developed, and you are now an owner because they need the land. They can't put the thing in the sky. And so that's how that will work. You see how simple that is? That's the new paradigm that's going to empower the Indians. Whenever some people say you should lease the land in the foreigners, well, it's hard to get financing on lease land in the Bahamas, right? So it's going to be hard to get foreign investors coming if they don't need lease land. What we will do moving forward is we will partner with them. We own the land, we bring in the money and development. So you're going to partner with our sovereign wealth fund. You understand? And so now we will have shares in whatever business they're doing, and we are making free money because we own the land that was sitting there anyway. And so now that's how you get the change again. You see the difference in the paradigm? How we empower ourselves? So like the Royal Caribbean port that they just did with our crown land. We would have said, you go on the part and we go on the part. Our investment is the land. As simple as that. So that's how that works. So just want to make that clear. Right. All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just want to thank you so much for attending this session today. And we're going to have much more than this that we have today, so we can talk to our leader, the directors. And also I'll be calling on you to have a meeting concerns marks in the central, south, and Michael P area. So you can stay tuned and we'll be doing that soon. We just want to thank you for coming and we hope that you gain some knowledge as to what the COI is all about. And I hope Dita has answered the questions that you have. So once again, we want to thank you for coming and enjoy the rest of your evening. Listen out for us. We're going to be visible in this community. Thank you so much.
At the Empowerment Center, the COI headquarters, we'll be glad to see you join us in the studio audience. This is countdown to the general election. Very important that we need. We need you to hit the ground. We need you to hit the ground. So we're ready to walk with us. Come and walk with us. It's time to get to work. Let's get to work, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to change. Let's fight for this. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.